Greetings, Vikings. On behalf of the Department of Nurse Education here at Del Mar College, we welcome you in joining us today on this live presentation. I am Belinda Munoz. I am the Nurse Education Advisor for the department, and I've worked with many of you in preparing you to get to this point today. That's such an exciting day for you and time frame for you to be at this point to be able to finally submit your application for our program. I do have another staff member joining me today, Christy Bettis. Christy and I work hand in hand for the department in preparing. My role is to prepare you and advise you and guide you along the way as you're getting ready for the day that you can prepare for our program. Once you submit your application, Christy is the one that works behind the scenes, verifying all of the requirements that we set forth that are met by all of the applicants, preparing your application for the committee to review, and just verifying all of that information. So she's like my resident expert that I go to when I have questions that you all send my way that I may not necessarily have answers to, because I don't always deal with the volume and the depth that she does at her end. So you'll be hearing from Christy a little later on in the presentation. She's especially helpful once we get to the ending of the presentation where we have the questions coming through. So like I said, we'll be hearing from Christy a little bit later. We have quite a bit of information that we want to present to you today. There's about 3 things that I really want to cover with you. Here in a bit, I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to go through a few PowerPoint slides with you, similar to what I've done in the other sessions, but just a quick review. I'm not going to spend too much time on them, just so that you can go through one final checklist and determine if you feel that you are ready to submit your application at the end of the month, which is January 31 deadline date. I would like to have time to do a quick calculator demonstration to show you how it is that Christy goes through that first step of calculating your GPA, what we call your program GPA, to determine if your application is ready for the committee to review. And then lastly, I hope to have some information, some time to play around a little bit with NursingCast. I did try to log in a while ago. I wasn't able to. I'm not sure if NursingCast is down right now, but we do have some information on our website as well that we can share with you. So having said that, let's go on ahead and get started. Give me a few seconds here to just kind of switch over to this mode where I am sharing my screen with you guys. Okay, give it a second. Hopefully you all can see that. So the first thing that I want to start with is just an overview of our application deadline dates. We have the same application deadline dates every year. They are January 31 and July 31. So I want to start off with this because if you determine at the ending of the presentation that you are not quite ready to submit your application for January 31, just know that a few months down the road, you can certainly apply then if you feel that waiting for July is the better option for you. And remember, as your advisor, I am here along the way to help you in preparation for that, whether you're submitting at the end of January or the end of July. This year, January 31 falls on a Sunday. We will leave that as our application deadline. It is an online application, so the system just shuts off at midnight. So don't worry about it being a weekend. We will stick with that deadline date. Keeping in mind, the January 31 deadline date is for our class that will be starting this coming fall in August of 2021. The July 31 deadline date is for the class that will begin a year from now, spring 2022, which is January 2022. So we are accepting applications at the end of the month for the programs that you see here listed in red: the vocational nurse education level 2 certificate, the registered nurse education degree, which is a 4-semester program. And also once a year, we accept applications for our LVN/Paramedic to RN transition program. This particular program only accepts applications in January. It is also a fall start. So again, quick review. If you want to submit your application by the end of January, you can do so for either the LVN program, the RN program, or the LVN/paramedic to RN transition program, in which you already have to be either an RN or a paramedic. Listed in blue is some exciting information that we can finally share with you all. Anticipated start date coming up this fall of our RN to BSN transition program. We do have all approvals ready to go for that. We're really excited about that. I just want to briefly mention that we do have a projected application cycle to start next month, February of 2021, and you must be core complete and be an RN to be eligible to apply to that program. So it's exciting not only for you as a student and us being able to offer you that next step in your career pathway, but it's also exciting for us in being able to provide highly skilled trained nurses at the next level for our community and beyond, because we do understand not all of the students that graduate stay in the Corpus Christi area. Okay, guys, and this is what I'm always advising you on. What is it that we require for our programs? Listed in red are what we consider prerequisites, which is English 1301, General Psychology, Anatomy and Physiology 1 and 2. You absolutely have to have those 4 to apply. And at this point, you've already been through that if you've already taken the T's, because we also require you to have those 4 when you need clearance from our office to get registered for the T's exam. Co-requisites are an option of one of 3 speech classes, an Introduction to Ethics course, basic chemistry, and microbiology. Keeping in mind that if you have all 8 or as many of the 8 as you can have completed by the application deadline date, that will make for a stronger application for you. You can apply, you can submit your application if you are missing one of the classes in yellow or 2, but the ideal situation for you to be in is to have all 8 completed by the semester in which you would start the program. So in this instance, with a January 31 deadline date, if you're missing one of the ones in yellow, you can still submit your application, and you still have 2 semesters in which you can complete courses, which is the spring semester and the summer term, before the program actually starts in August. Quick review of the Associate in Arts degree plan. At this point of the game, you guys know that this is a degree plan you're on, because this is what I've been advising you, again, every step of the way. And again, the prerequisites and co-requisites are listed here, and then on the side of the other courses, I listed which courses are worth bonus points. When I get into our website here in a few minutes, I'm also going to remind you that all of these bonus point possibilities are also listed on our program guidelines. Admission requirements. So what is it that you absolutely have to have? If you are not a current Del Mar student, we do require that you submit an application on Apply Texas to Del Mar College declaring nursing as your major. We use a third-party application called NursingCast. Their web address is nursingcast.org, and you must meet the deadline date of January 31 at the end of this month to be considered for the fall class. On the 8 courses that I just went through a few minutes ago, we do require a C or better, a grade of a C or better in all of these courses. When we average these 8 together, that is what we determine as a program GPA. So these 8 courses averaged together must come out to a minimum of a 2.5 GPA or higher. If you are not at a 2.5 GPA or higher with these 8, you are not yet ready to submit your application. That is not very easy for me to tell you that in my advising sessions, but on the positive end of that, as your advisor, again, I am here to help you determine and analyze what you have to do to raise your GPA to that point, and at what point is the best time frame in which you would need to be submitting your application. You must meet the TEAS test requirements. We are looking at 3 areas: your overall score, your reading score, and your science score. CNA or CMA certification is no longer required. It is now an option, and we do provide bonus points for that at different levels. There are some immunizations that are required. Again, refer to the program guidelines so that you are certain which ones we require at the time of application and which immunizations we require afterwards if you are admitted into our program. You must submit official transcripts directly to NursingCast, and please make sure that you are doing that. Keeping in mind that not everybody that applies to the program is a Del Mar College student. So NursingCast, being a third-party application, does not have access to your Del Mar College records. So yes, if you are a Del Mar student, we understand that you have already submitted all of your transcripts to our registrar's office to be able to enroll here at Del Mar. Keep in mind, again, you are now taking the next step and applying to our program using a third-party application service that does not have access to your Del Mar records. So if you have attended 2 or 3 or 4 different colleges or universities, you will again have to request for all of those transcripts to be sent directly to NursingCast. There is no expiration date on any of the 8 courses that we require, on any of the 8 prerequisite or co-requisites. So if you have some courses that you took a number of years ago, it doesn't matter how long that time frame was, we will accept those courses, but keep in mind that we do require a minimum of a C or better. And I think I mentioned a little bit of this already. NursingCast is a third-party application. Some of the tips and tricks to this, guys, is that you must follow all of the instructions, read all of the instructions. We tell the NursingCast organization what it is that we want to see on the application, the kind of information that we are needing, but we do not design the application. So if you come across a stumbling block and you have questions, you don't know how to, let's say you don't know how to do the section where you have to enter all of the courses that you've taken and all of your academic history, please refer to the tutorials which we have posted on our website and which NursingCast has on their website as well. Again, you do not necessarily contact me with those types of questions. Direct any kind of questions that you have about NursingCast to them directly. Okay. Now, on the last statement here, supporting documentation can be uploaded in the program materials section. In that section is where you will upload copies of your immunization records, where you will upload your TEAS score report. That is where you will also upload your CNA and CMA certification if you happen to have that, or also your LVN license if you're applying for the LVN to RN transition. I have a lot of information and I really debated about taking this entire slide out because I just wanted to cover a few things. But I went on ahead and left it there because I realized that you guys can play this video back and y'all can go through this. But the main thing that I want to touch up on this screen is the scores. You must meet the minimum requirements that we have set forth, and that is the 3rd bullet point. The overall score of 58.7 or higher, the reading minimum of a 66.9% or higher, and science 48% or higher. You must meet all of those 3 objectives on the same test. So if you took it and you were short in one of the 3 areas, that is when you would have to retest. Now, if you feel that in the scores that you have do not meet these minimums on one test, you will have to contact our office about rescheduling. I haven't contacted the office today with this question. I'm not sure what the answer is as of today, but maybe Kristen can chime in at the ending. I don't know if we still have seats available between now and the end of the month, but once we get to the question and answers, Christy can chime in with that answer. But again, guys, you must meet those minimum 3 requirements. Once you meet those minimum requirements, you do not want to take the test anymore, because you could potentially go from being eligible with the score you have, but then if you feel that you want to take it again to see if you score higher, just so that you can grab some more bonus points, that could work in the opposite direction for you, because you could unexpectedly score lower in a particular section and go below the minimum, and now you knocked yourself out from being eligible to apply with the original scores that you had to not being eligible. So be very careful and be very mindful of that. If you have already met requirements, do not test anymore. We do not rank you on the scores that you made. We're just checking to see that you made the minimum requirements. Most importantly, how do we select a class? It's based on admission points and a bonus point system. Here in a few minutes, I'm going to bring up the GPA calculator and do a quick demonstration for you. I have some numbers to share with you. We are receiving approximately in the range of 170 to 200 applications submitted per cycle. About 100 applicants are accepted every fall and every spring. So again, please refer to the program guidelines listed on our website. And having said that, let me go on ahead and jump on over to the calculator demonstration. Hopefully you guys can see this clearly. It might take a minute or so for it to load up on your end. I am just going to throw in some makeshift grades. Okay, I'm just picking some grades out of this guy here. And in this scenario, let's go with this student that's applying. And again, guys, this is nobody in particular. These are just grades that I just selected in here. So let's go with this scenario here, where this student has 7 of the 8 classes. And this student in this scenario wants to submit an application at the end of the month, at the end of January. So keeping in mind that we require a C or better at the minimum of each of the 8 classes. So this student has 7 of the 8. The course that they are missing is microbiology, which is okay, because remember, micro was one of those classes in yellow. So when you look at the grades individually and that we require a C or better, it looks like, okay, this student is eligible to apply to the program. What we are looking for, guys, is right here, this column, program GPA. We're looking at both, okay? So once Christy starts working on applications in February, first thing she's going to do is do a quick run through on all of the applicants, make sure that everybody met the program GPA requirement, minimum of a C or better, 2.5 or higher. So on this particular student, this student is not yet eligible to submit an application. If they do submit an application, Christy will be removing it from the list of eligible applicants because of the GPA. So I want to say the latest application fee on NursingCast is $55. So you really don't want to spend that money if you're not at that minimum GPA, because we are not going to put it forth, okay? Now, I don't think I've mentioned it, but Christy and I do not sit on the committee, okay? So it is a committee made up of faculty. And so Christy and I are just here to prepare you along the way, but she and I don't sit on the committee. Okay, so many times students will come back to me and they'll say, Ms. Belinda, what do I do? I mean, I'm not at a point where I can apply yet. So remember, this student still has one more class that they can take, but they might have to consider going back and repeating a class or two. So let's say in the next scenario, this student waited, and this student's going to have to wait until July to apply, but they went back and they retook psychology, and they went from a C to an A, and they decided that they also wanted to retake speech, and they went from a C to a B, and they took microbiology, and let's say they got an A. I don't always like to pick on the sciences because I do quite a bit, because I know they're pretty challenging for you all. But let's say that this student waited to apply in July, took a couple of classes, improved the grades in there, and then along the way in the spring term, went on ahead and took microbiology, and now they're looking in the future. So in this situation, the student is now eligible to apply because they have a C or better. They also completed micro along the way, even though they could have applied without it. They're at a 2.9 program GPA. Then here's where we will add your bonus points. Okay, so we don't rank you guys by GPA. This is just simply a check mark. Is the student at 2.5 or higher? Then Christy will grab the PGPA points, your program GPA points, and let's say that this student had 10 bonus points, and it doesn't matter where they came from. The total is 10. It could be CNA, CMA, course certification. It could be some coursework. However that student generated 10 bonus points, we will add 10 bonus points to your program GPA points. So in this scenario, this student will be ranked on 33.714. Okay, 33.714. That's where the bonus points really come in and help you, because this student's application just lifted from 23 to 33. And when, again, you're reading the guidelines on page 7, the very last paragraph where we talk about the selection process, we state on there that we rank everybody from highest to lowest. The next question that I most often get is, well, what's the minimum score that I need to apply? There's no right or wrong answer. There's no magic answer as an advisor that I can give you for that, and I wish there was. From the way Christy has debriefed me, the range can be anywhere from 20 to 50 or even beyond that. And it just depends on the dynamics of the class and the makeup of the class once Christy goes through and does all the GPA calculations and ranks everybody. Okay, so I just kind of wanted to show that quickly to you. I can email you that calculator. Let's go back to the PowerPoint and let's look at these numbers now. These were numbers that Christy shared with me for the class that will be starting next week, spring 2021. Look at this, guys. Total applications 230. Out of 230 applications that we received for the students that will be starting next week, 182 were qualified applicants. So when I tell you, if you do not meet the minimum 2.5 GPA requirement, don't submit your application. I'm not saying that, you know, to be negative or in a rude or condescending way, but a lot of times students think that if they're close, like a 2.48, that we will look at the application just in case. Look at the number of applications that we are receiving, and you will know that we have plenty to rank that did meet the requirement. As an advisor, what I'm looking at is over here, the number of applicants that were denied, and especially like the ones that are not qualified. These are the students that I want to work with. I want to work with everybody, but I really want to work with the students that were not yet qualified, because this is my role in this position, is to help you be prepared to submit an application that is a strong application, that is one that will be set forth to the committee. Okay, we will share that with you in a bit. The other thing I wanted to share with you guys is the website, our website. Okay, delmar.edu/rn takes you directly to this page. If you'll click down here on pre-nursing students, and I know I've covered this with you in advising sessions, particularly I want you to pay attention here to the admission requirements link on the left-hand side. Two areas that I want to bring out here. First off is the admission information page. Majority of you are submitting an application for the RN program, but again, we have just as many that will be applying for the LVN paramedic to RN transition and the vocational nurse. I'm just going to click on the RN just for example. Give that a minute to load here. Let me enlarge this a bit. Remember, guys, it's a 7-page document. Again, here are the prerequisite and co-requisites. This is going to flash before your eyes, but I'm going to scroll on down to the bottom of page 5, page 6, page 7. This is where the bonus points are all itemized. Please print the guidelines. If you have a printer at home, please print them. Grab a highlighter, highlight all of the information that you feel is necessary, but send me an email here in a few before we close out. I will share my email with you for those of you that don't have it already. Send me an email. I will email you the calculator and you can plug your grades in. You can see if you meet the minimum requirements, and then you can determine how many bonus points you have. There are 3 areas of bonus points that we provide you. One is based on your TEAS exam. If your total score is in any of these 2 ranges, you could get possibly 2 or 4 bonus points. What we consider direct patient care points. That is, if you are an EMT paramedic or you are a CNA or CMA, read through this here. You could possibly be eligible for either 2, 3, or 4 bonus points. And the last area is what we call the pathway points. This is a coursework. Okay, so based on the coursework that you've already completed, you might be eligible for some bonus points, keeping in mind that we do require a minimum of a C or better. A quick run through here, there's 4 classes that are worth 2 bonus points. Pathophysiology, new course taught by our nurse education staff. Lifespan growth and development. Statistics, remember our degree plan calls for statistics, not college algebra. Diet and nutrition. And remember, these are the courses off of the Associate of Arts degree plan. Pretty much all of the other courses on the AA degree plan fall under the 1-point category. These are going to be like the 2 history classes, history 1 and 2, the 2 government classes, American and Texas government, and creative arts, I believe. Those fall in the 1-point category. Okay, guys, let's fly back up to page 1. Remember, it is a 7-page document. Same kind of information is there for vocational nurse and for the transition program. If you need a reminder of what courses are on the degree plan, again, down here under nursing program track options, click on Registered Nurse Education Associate in Arts. This might vary a little bit on the degree plan that is particular to you, that's listed on your WebDMC account, dependent on the catalog year that you are on. Don't let that confuse you. Just reach out to me and I can clear that up for you if you're confused on what the catalog year you're on. The differences is really going to be down here in the bottom area of suggested electives. Okay, so going back to our website, just bringing attention again to the ATITs link. And at the bottom of this page, at the very bottom, is the PDF document for the TEAS test information. Again, it's a 5-page document. So like I said, for those of you that are submitting an application at the end of the month, you have probably already, been reading through the guidelines and all, but it doesn't hurt to, again, do a good review. One more thing that I wanted to share with you all is this link here applying to the nursing program. This video here is a former Facebook Live presentation that we did, which is exactly what we're doing today. But I want to share with you these links here, particularly the Applicant Help Center. I think that's the one. Yeah, the Applicant Help Center has a lot of information for you, particularly in this section. I'm filling out your NursingCast application. One of the questions that we most commonly get is, well, I don't know how to enter the information off of my transcript. If you click here on academic history, and you guys are just going to have to familiarize yourself with this and just kind of click around it. But if you click here on transcript entry, for example, you scroll down, NursingCast has this little how-to video on how you submit, how you complete that section before you submit it. I highly encourage you guys to view these videos, to reach out to NursingCast with any questions that you have. We have had students in the past, and these are the kind of stories that Christy shares with me so that I know how to, better effectively guide you. We've had students sometimes that had wonderful credentials to apply to our program, met the GPA requirements, but they made mistakes on the application. They don't read. We've had students that do not list every college or university that they've attended, in which you have to. They do not list every course that they've taken at every college and university. We've had students that on the transcript entry part will only list the 8 classes, the 8 prerequisite and co-requisites, and we just cannot put an application like that through. So it's not just having the credentials to apply to our program that we are looking at, but it is also you guys following the instructions, reading the instructions, and making sure that you are submitting an application correctly with all of the information that we require. I think that covers just about everything that I wanted to share with you all. And what time are we at? 4 o'clock. So having gone through all of that, I know I've Christy in the background who's probably been fielding some of the questions that have been coming through on the chat side. Are there other questions maybe that we haven't answered? I always feel like I talk really fast in these sessions, but we just always have so much information to share with you. And like I said, I love that you guys can come back later and play this video back as you need to. I did forget to do one thing. Let me go back here. I did want to share our contact page with you all. Probably going the long way around here. Okay, guys, if y'all need to reach our office, these are the phone numbers in which you are able to reach us. I will say that COVID has changed a lot. It has, changed the way we're advising you. It's changed our instruction style. It has changed so many things in this past several months. But one thing that has not changed is our commitment and our drive to help you as professionals in higher education, to help you be a successful student. So please reach out to us. The modality in which we are reaching out to you is different. We're advising by phone, we're advising by virtual group sessions, we're advising by telephone, anything but face-to-face, but we're still here. We are still at a reach for you to be able to have your questions answered. If you need to schedule an appointment with me, please send me an email. That email is probably the easiest way to reach me. That's bmunoz20@delmar.edu. If you have any particular questions about submitting the application, you can even just bypass calling the office. Just email me directly. I will say, though, please be patient with me in my getting back to you. Understand that right now, email and telephone is the way that I'm able to be in touch with you, but the volume is quite high. We are trying to wrap up spring registration. We had late registration yesterday and today, and it will still trickle on through the rest of the month. Classes do start next Tuesday, so I'm spread very thin right now, but I'm here to help you as much as I can. We're kind of going to shift a little bit, in our focus from registration to, the deadline date within the next couple of weeks. So if there's any questions that we have not answered in this session, or anything in particular unique to you, again, please reach out to me, and I'll see what I can do to best help you. If you would like for me to email you that GPA calculator, please send me a direct email and I will respond to your email, and I will attach the calculator to that so that you can do your own calculation and determine if you are ready to submit your application. Okay, with that, I will go on ahead and stop there. And I'll take Christy's lead here. I'm not sure how we're doing, like I said, with the maybe questions that have been coming through, if there's anything else that we need to address.
Well, hello everyone. This is Christy with Nurse Education. I am behind the scenes helping the questions be answered in the chat. If Ms. Munoz will, I don't recall you going over the applying to the program section that shows the students where to go to find the help links for NursingCast. If you can jump back on and do that, that would be great.
Back on our website?
Yes, the applying to the program section that shows the students where they can click and find the links for NursingCast help.
Preparing to apply, Christy?
Let's see. I think it's the one applying to the program. Yeah, NursingCast Application instructions right there. Here we go. Scroll down. These are all of your NursingCast Help Center categories that will help you if you come across something you can't do in NursingCast. If Ms. Munoz will go back up and click on Applicant Help Center, and there's a link that says go down, second row, click on that one, and then click on Visit Resource. This is your best friend with NursingCast. If you look in the top left, starting your application, click on all of these links and it will help you getting started with your NursingCast application. The biggest one I want to bring your attention to is filling out your application, which is the upper right. If you look at the 4 bullet points, each of those bullet points, NursingCast personal information, NursingCast academic history, supporting information and program materials, all of those match up to the 4 sections in NursingCast that you have to fill out in order to have a complete application before you apply. This is your first place you need to go if you are having a problem. They have tutorials, they have samples, especially in the academic history section. If Belinda would click on that really quickly. This
what
gives
I
you.
highlighted was the transcript entry part.
That is correct. Transcript entry.
Yeah,
this goes right. This is where you'll need to go if you are having problems with transcript entry. We do require the entire transcript. There's 2 sections at the very top. It says if it's full transcripts or for prerequisites only. We need to emphasize we are a full transcript program. We don't just want the courses that apply that are the ones that are on the nursing degree plan or the prerequisites to get into the program. We need every course that you have taken. And this will go through and explain each of the different sections so you can accurately fill out your transcript entry. As Ms. Munoz said, one of the things that gets people denied is when there's errors in their application. This section is one of the #1 places where those errors occur. So follow all of this, click on any and all of the video links on the NursingCast website, and you should be able to successfully fill out your application. If there's anything that is a program admission requirement that you don't understand, those are the things that you can contact us directly about. If it's something about not understanding how to do something in NursingCast, that's when you would go here, and then after that you would contact NursingCast's customer service. We are not able to assist students with filling out this application. As Belinda mentioned, we had 230 applications. We can't sit down for appointments with 230 students and help them fill out the application, which is why we turned over this service to NursingCast. But I know y'all can successfully fill this out. Every student that's gotten into the program has done it successfully, and just believe in yourself. This application isn't as scary as you might think it is. All right, Belinda, that was the main thing I wanted to kind of touch on, was make sure they got to where they needed to be in their NursingCast to find the NursingCast help. Any other questions? I think Jason is feverishly answering them as fast as he can.
Hey, it's just easier for me to verbally ask you, Belinda, but a couple students on here are asking about they maybe took a class at TAMU CC in nursing or whatever, maybe a year ago, or they were at Southern Careers Institute and they took classes. Does all that need to be included in the application as well?
Christy?
Yes.
I would say yes, though we don't consider it for credit for our program, but listing it in their history of colleges and universities attended, yes. And Christy might want to add more to that.
Yes, I do want to expand on that a little bit, because I think it was about if it shows up on a Del Mar transcript. If it is a transfer, anything that's been transferred to Del Mar, you can't report those in NursingCast under your Del Mar transcript. You have to report everything on your Texas A&M transcript exactly as it appears. When you do your Del Mar transcript, you only do your Del Mar coursework. That goes for every college or university that you attend. You have to go back to the original source of where you received that credit, where you received that grade. Just because it's been transferred into Del Mar doesn't make it a Del Mar course, even if you can see it on your transcript at Del Mar. I think that was probably what that question was. I do see there was a question about how soon to apply to the program if we are still taking pre and co-recs. You're not eligible to apply until you have completed your prerequisites. We do recommend getting as many co-requisites as you can done before applying. But if you do have any questions about when would be the right time to apply with you, that would be an opportunity for you to make an appointment with the nurse education advisor. Belinda is our nurse education advisor, also faculty, also assist students with advising appointments. So call our nursing office and make an appointment, and that advisor can help you figure out when would be the best time for you to apply. Let's see, I hope we were able to answer questions. I guess there was the question about the AAS versus the AA. I believe there was an answer that was going to be posted, but The Associate of Applied Science is your degree from Del Mar that allows you to take your licensure exam to become a nurse. That degree is not transferable out to another college or university. But what that degree does is allows you to take that test to become the registered nurse. Once you become a registered nurse and then complete all the courses on the Associate of Arts degree, those two combined will allow you to apply to an RN to BSN program, whether the one that we'll be offering at Del Mar, or if you were wanting to go to another different university to get that. The AA is the general education courses that you need in addition to your registered nursing license to continue on for that RN to BSN. At Del Mar, you become a registered nurse before you finish out that BSN program.
Does that cover the questions that we had?
Yes, at this time, I don't see any more questions, but we'll continue to answer them as they come in, even after this is over. So all good.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you, Jason and your team, for assisting us and being able to reach our students in this format. Like I said a while ago, you know, COVID has changed so much, but it hasn't changed our commitment to help you and to be there for you. Please reach out to us if there's anything that you are asking of me that I'm not certain of. Trust that I will reach out to Christy and we will get an answer to you. It may take us, you know, a few hours or so, but you know, we are here for you. So please reach out. Again, on behalf of the Department of Nurse Education, our entire department, our faculty, our staff, our office staff, we are all here to help you. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to receiving and reviewing your applications. Good luck. Such an exciting time for you. I'm proud of you for getting to this point, and please reach out to me if I can help you any further. Thank you.